Hey, so I figured I would do another chat style video this week about cosplay, of course. I just kind of enjoy doing these, and I was in class thinking this would make a good video. These are some things that I have done that have been mistakes at conventions or cosplaying in general, and I think you might find these amusing or interesting, or perhaps even learn a thing or two. So first of all, as a lot of you know, I attended Anime New York City this past year. That was the first large con I've ever attended. And I had got there and, well, to fairness, I realized at the airport, because I had this grand plan to do my makeup while I was at the airport. I was gonna, because my airport has these really nice bathrooms, and I was just gonna do my convention makeup there, and then I was gonna change into cosplay once we got there, and then we could go straight to the con. And I thought it was the greatest idea, and I was just so excited. And I had made my boyfriend wash the makeup brushes the night previous, and we left him on the sink to dry. We didn't even remember to bring them with us. So I thought, oh no, and then we were in such a rush once we did get there, I couldn't have stopped and bought any, and I didn't know the stores around my hotel. I'm not from New York City, so I didn't have any makeup brushes. I guess the thing that I did do, though, when I did make that mistake, is I used the cotton balls and Q-tips and toilet paper to dab things on in different places. I used Q-tips for my eye makeup, but always double check what you've packed in the morning. Don't just be I'm all set at night. But it's really weird too that I didn't even see them on my counter. So now I'm paranoid, do I have my makeup brushes with me? Because I made it through, but it definitely wasn't as good as it could have been if I would have just remembered them. Another mistake that I've made over time, this isn't anything to do with conventions, but I have forgotten to brush my wigs before putting them back. I think it's actually really important, and I didn't realize this until it was too late, but it's different, I guess, if you have a big styled wig that needs to be stored on a head, but I'm just talking your basic anime girl with bangs and long hair style wig. That really does need to be brushed before you put it back. A lot of my wigs would get ruined because I wouldn't brush them, and then I'd put them back, and then when I went to go take them out, they'd be even gnarlier from just being pushed around in the bag for a while, because I have these really crowded bag drawers of wig drawers of just bags and bags of wigs. And it's not that it's a bad storage system, it's just it's really bad if you don't clean them up before putting them back, obviously. So I have destroyed quite a few wigs that way, and I think some of my wigs would have just lasted a lot longer if I would have not styled them again, but brushed them out and prepped them for being in the bag. Use the net that they give you, use the piece of cardboard that you put in the wig or around the wig or whatever to keep its longevity. That's why they send it to you that way, you know? Another mistake that I've made is not considering undergarments in cosplay. When I talk undergarments too, I'm talking petticoats and things and tights. I've definitely gotten a lot better with tights, but there has been times where I really should have had different colored tights or something like that. Or with petticoats, I chose a petticoat that you could see the hoops through the skirt. I was recently published to a cosplay magazine, and it was a photo set from a year ago, and it was before I'd realized, oh crap, my petticoats look kind of bad. I should probably fix that. And I realized that at my Anime New York City photos too, and my costume design professor actually gave me some advice on fixing that I will be taking in the future, of course. But in the past, I didn't know. So now I'm haunted by these published images that they're gorgeous images. The photographer did great and everything, but you can see the hoops on my petticoat. So I think never underestimate the power of undergarments. So I think when cosplay, it's equally as important to the main cosplay to consider what undergarments you're wearing, or I have nothing against hip pads and stuff even. For example, I have hip dips, and if I were to wear a bodysuit, I see no problem in a little bit of padding, just because it's cosplay, and it's not I'm trying to look realistic. I'm trying to look like a video game or an anime girl, so we don't need to be realistic, people. And then I think this is definitely the biggest mistake out of everything, and I think COVID made this one hit a little bit harder, is being shy at conventions. Now, I know a lot of us can't help being shy, of course, but I was certainly somebody who would not talk to anyone at conventions for years. I would always just bring my boyfriend and just talk to nobody but him and just keep to myself the entire convention. And because of that, I didn't get to know a lot of people. I was really shy around people too because of that. But everyone's usually really friendly at conventions. The only people that I have met that are kind of cranky at conventions are often parents there with their kids who did not realize what they had signed up for. But besides that, everyone that I've met at conventions has been like super sweet, super friendly. And even sometimes the parents are like really into it. There was a convention I attended right before COVID began, and I don't know what it was. I just had like a mental breakdown. I feel like at the end of the day at that con, it was only like 2 p.m. that I lasted till, and it was because like I just didn't know like how to interact with people there. And I had thought about that all COVID, how much I like just missed opportunities. Like I should have stayed and went to more panels or whatever. So like stay the full day and interact with people, and like, yeah, you're gonna be exhausted, but like I would trade that for having the connections and like having the fun at the end of the day, no matter what, because of how much I regretted it for that entire like year of no cons. That was a pretty horrible feeling, so I make it a point to be less shy at conventions now and to try to be more outgoing there and make the most of the experience rather than just popping in and out or something like that, because I realized that I'd miss that most once it was gone, you know? Also, big point, like, to point it out somehow, but get people's Instagrams or get their social media or whatever, because I have taken so many photos with people that like I have the photos and then I go to post them and then I just realize like, oh, I don't have like their social media or anything, and I'm like, oh no, and it's like the worst thing ever. So make sure you're getting people's Instagrams or whatever social media you need to get to like just find them and tag them and do whatever you gotta do. Next up, always pre-pick up tickets if you can for conventions. I know in the future, so if there was a convention that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I used to be like, I'll go Friday when it starts and I'll pick up my tickets, right? But usually conventions that are that big have a ticket pickup on the Thursday night, and I've had some really horrible line experiences and like just waiting for tickets for a while. So like if you're able to, plus it like will make you late for your panels and it's just chaos. Like you want them as soon as you can in advance so you can just walk into the convention. I know now with COVID-19 too, we have to like have the, you know, like you have to have like your vaccine wristbands and stuff. And you can usually get those the night before also. And once you have those two things, you can just like walk straight into the convention. So I would definitely suggest having that in advance also, because I have definitely regretted before not having that in advance. Also, always bring your own snacks and water. Like, what's the worst? They're gonna tell you can't bring them in and you're gonna have to leave them outside there. Like, bring some cheap snacks, you know? But always bring some water and snacks, because convention centers, like, I got really lucky with some convention centers that just had, like, vending machines galore of water and snacks, but sometimes that's not always the case. You don't know what you're headed into unless you really know the convention center well and stuff, or you've been there before and you know how to get access to things. Stock up, you know? Also, you don't know what your hotel's gonna have or anything like that either, and obviously you don't want to be starving for 3 days. And then these two last ones are like really random ones that have to do with shoes. So the first one is to always put insoles in your shoes at conventions, because it just hurts. And there's some comfort tips that I would actually give for conventions. I think it's really good to have, like, if you are doing like a cosplay showcase or like something in like a contest, like I'd understand why you need like heels, for example, but I would never wear heels at a full day at a convention. Like, I love heels too, don't get me wrong, like I love the way they look and stuff, but if I'm at a convention for 10 hours, it's one thing if you go somewhere, if you're at like in an office all day or something where you can sit, but there is nowhere to sit usually at conventions. Like, the con floor. Always bring a pair of shoes that looks like something your character would wear, that's comfortable. So I usually have 2 resorts that I go to that are like Mary Jane's and Flats, and I always have those 2 in my bag because most characters look like they'd wear them. I remember I was gonna go to a convention dressed as Sailor Venus, and this was like an almost mistake, I almost, because COVID canceled this convention, so I guess I got lucky. And then when I went to the photo shoot, I realized how uncomfortable I would have been. I almost wore the heels the whole day there. And now if I were to do it, I would have ordered some like orange flats, or I would have gotten like white boots that were really inexpensive, and I would have put insoles in them, and then I would have used orange leather paint to make them orange for the character. And I think, like, yeah, it's not the most canon, but unless you're doing like a cosplay contest, like, just take the comfort, you know? You can find lots of shoes similar to the shoes your character wears that just have like less of a heel or are just made for comfort, you know? So that's like my mistakes or things that I've like learned from at cosplaying and at conventions. Hope you guys enjoyed like a little talk time video. I enjoy doing like more talking style videos, especially during the semester, because I am really overwhelmed. So I don't have like a ton of time to be making my usual cosplay content. I am trying to film some progress of some costumes I'm currently working on. It's just gonna take me a while to finish them up. So thank you for your patience. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you again next week. Bye!